Prescriptions, copays, lab tests. Even with insurance, healthcare can cost thousands every year. But not for me, because I'm enrolled in VA Healthcare. My service was then. My benefits are now. Get what you earned. Visit choose.va.gov.
Not all veterans are eligible for the type or amount of benefits mentioned here.
In Iowa, a woman is accused of lighting a porch on fire.
Yeah, you got a barbecue.
That's right. A definite barbecue. In Louisiana, Lacey Fletcher's parents are sentenced in the infamous couch case.
Oh, there you have it.
These stories and more coming at you today, Thursday, the 28th of March on Real Life Real Crime Daily, and I'm Jim Chapman.
I'm Woody Everton.
And I'm Mike Agavino on a thirsty
Thursday. You know what's thirsty?
My body
the
is
vein in your arm.
my body is thirsty. The vein in my arm is thirsty. We have a guest in the studio with us.
We do, Miss Tracy.
Tracy Lofton of Lagniappe Infusions, and we love it when our listeners start businesses, and we love to support their businesses. And we started talking about a month ago, and Tracy has built a nice business early on, providing these kinds of treatments in a mobile environment. She comes to you. And so today she's come into the studio with us and is giving me, this is called the triple testosterone treatment, Tracy? Is that what it's called?
No, it's an energy infusion.
Wait, Jim told me it was a testosterone treatment.
You wish. Yeah.
My wife is going to speak to me for the first time in a month because she thought I was having a triple testosterone treatment. But tell us about your business, how you got started, and what this actual treatment is.
Tracy, tell us about, because it's important to me. I always say the most underpaid and unappreciated professions are law enforcement, nurses, and teachers. Tell us a little bit about your career and how you got started.
Well, I actually wanted to be a physician, but I like the bedside more. So I went to nursing school. I've been a nurse for 33 years. All my experience has been in pediatrics. I've done pediatric ICU, most recently doing pediatric emergency. I got started in the infusion business because I think that there's lots of benefits that you can have from the infusions as far as helping you with energy, fatigue, vitamin deficiencies, weight loss. So I want to help people get their health back to where they would like it to be. And so we can do that through the infusions and the injections that we offer.
Right. And you told me earlier you're out of Maurepas.
I am out in
That's where you
Maurepas.
live, which is where I lived for so many years and raised my kids and everything else. And like Mike said, you're mobile with you go to your patients.
Yes, they can schedule an appointment through my app. They can call. There's a QR code you could scan. We schedule the appointment. I come out. You'll have a telemedicine visit with a physician to make sure that there are no health concerns that would prevent you from getting this treatment.
And she's not lying, y'all. I got to watch Mike on the phone with the doctor this morning before this episode, which I think is a really good deal. I mean, certainly there's quacks in every business, and certainly you're not one.
Yeah,
Mike
they're all
got to
about
speak to the
safety.
doctor. They went through his medical history and any allergies, et cetera, et cetera. And the doc gave us approval, and then you stuck him.
No,
That's great veins.
Yeah.
She's been a pediatric nurse for 30 years, and you can tell because that was a pure shot.
And look, I don't want
Didn't even pinch.
don't all of y'all run out of the room at one time, but she is wearing an Aglet shirt.
It's a collector's item. It's a classic Aglet shirt.
A one of one.
Those are
I made it myself.
those are available for only $139.99 on the website.
Real Life Real Crime. I have to give her credit. She says Real Life Real Crime, and then she has Aglets. But we're gonna post this on all our social media, y'all. And I understand we're gonna have some QR codes to scan, and you're on Facebook, and Mike's got your other information he's gonna give out. And y'all, she's gonna take care of lifers if you see her and use her, which I highly recommend. I've had it done, not by Miss Tracy. I had it done a couple times, and it really, really helped me through a struggling moment, if you will.
Well, so Trace, real quick, what is the treatment I'm getting this morning?
It's essentially like a Myers cocktail, which is probably the most popular infusion amongst infusion companies. It contains vitamin C, B vitamins, and some other ingredients, and it's to help with fatigue, energy, just overall recovery and helping you feel better.
All the stuff that makes you feel good.
Yes.
There you go. Gotta have it.
I can feel with each drip
So,
myself feeling a little bit better. But let me tell you, the process was so easy. So yesterday, Tracy sends me a QR code. Just use the QR code, register, select an appointment time, and you are, once you give a little medical history, which is like one slide, you are good to go. And within 24 hours, we're here getting a treatment. So,
And Tracy, how long does the average treatment take, like this one?
This one won't take long because we have the option of 500 ml bag of fluids or a liter. And for time, I chose the 500. So it probably would be done in 20, 30 minutes. A liter, usually 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It's usually about an hour-long process with all.
okay, so you're going to make sure I don't die in the interim. This is Tracy Lofton. You can reach her. It's Lagniappe Infusions. They are on Facebook. We are going to post her QR code on the show notes. And you can also reach out to her at 509-308-1212. 509-308-1212. That's Tracy Lofton at Lagniappe Infusions. I am being infused right now. And when the bag is done, we'll come back and talk about it some more.
Excellent. And yeah.
And you'll do a few news stories in the interim, Tracy, okay?
I am out of Maurepas, but we cover from Slidell area to across the Mississippi. We cover a large area. So if you aren't sure if we will come to you, just give me a call and we can make sure a good time.
Right. Right. It's always something excellent to have something else to make you feel better.
100%.
So what is it, pretty much anything within like an hour and a half radius of you? Or
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And I have some other service providers that I work with. And so one lives in Covington. So, we have lots of coverage all throughout.
And again, I said that you're going to have a code for Real Life Real Crime listeners. And what's the code?
RLRC.
RLRC. And we're going to post that on all our social media and our app and everything else. Y'all got to give it a try.
And you know what Tracy's also volunteered to do?
What?
Is to donate.
Oh, that's right. That's
To
right.
LOPA.
I'm sorry. So, y'all, this is huge, and it's especially huge for me. So, if you use her services, I think, and we can edit out if I get this wrong, but I think it's, you said you're going to donate $10 per infusion to LOPA, Louisiana Organ Procurement Agency. Y'all know that's my jam. They save lives every day. I guess you probably got to see that a lot in your career.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. That's no good time for that to happen, but it saves lives and you can be a hero. So thank you so much for that. $10. First, y'all, you're going to get a discount, and then $10 towards your treatment goes to Louisiana Organ Procurement Agency. That is love.
Yeah, that's love.
Yeah, and folks, if you can see me, I was a solid 3.5 when I walked in, but I think I'd get like a 7 right now if a group of ladies walked by me. I mean, it's just,
you're a legend.
I'm just feeling that much stronger.
Legend in your
I
own.
like the scruff.
Yeah. He's a legend in his own mind.
What'd you say, 5.5? Okay, I'll take the 5.5.
Hey, and with that, and thank you so much, Tracy, and we can't wait to see what the results are, not only on Mike, but we hope your business grows exponentially, and lifers, y'all go give it a shot. That's right. So with that, let's get down to some crime time for Thirsty Thursday.
And we're in Iowa, and a woman has been arrested after she started a fire on a stranger's front porch. Right. The homeowner told police that her home security cameras captured a woman on the porch who lit something on fire. The homeowner also said smoke was visible in the footage. Officers found the woman identified as Michelle Young, who was 46. She admitted to starting the fire when officers asked her what she was doing. Young told police she was walking around the area picking up miscellaneous items, including a car's tailgate, tinfoil, bark, and a yellow lawn flag. She said that she went into the home believing her friend lived there and knocked 3 times, but did not get a response. So she said she sat on the porch chair, smoked a cigarette, and knocked again. When Young did not get an answer, she lit the item she had with her on fire. Wow. She also said she saw a sign that said, "Witches welcome." And because she is a witch, she started the fire. This was her excuse. She said she also put clothing in the fire. Young told police that she was not going to hurt anyone and let the fire get out of control. She's been charged with reckless use of fire explosive devices and several other charges. The homeowner did not know Young, and she has one of the most classic, I guess you would call it, lineup pictures that you will ever come across. This is nice. Her. And we will post that on the Facebook, but this is definitely the look of someone who would set your porch on fire. Yes, would you agree?
I agree.
Yeah. Yes.
She's a witch. She's a witch.
She's a witch.
How did she document that she was a witch?
She went to witch school, I would imagine.
I'm sure it's called Wicca.
Do you remember the scene in Monty Python when so she's a witch? What a witch is made of? Wood. and then therefore, if she was heavier than a duck, she was a witch. Yeah. And they put her and the duck on the scale at the same time, and they declared her a witch. You don't remember that? How do you know she's a witch? She turned me into a newt.
There you have it.
Good old European
Monty Python trivia. Okay, but this woman looks a lot like a witch.
Yeah, she does. She does indeed.
Spark something uncommon this holiday with just the right gift from Uncommon Goods. The busy holiday season is here, and Uncommon Goods makes it less stressful with incredible hand-picked gifts for everyone on your list, all in one spot. Gifts to spark joy, wonder, delight, and that's exactly what I wanted feeling. Hey, y'all, I ordered a super cool piece. It's a candle with a sculpture of an LSU's Tiger Stadium on top of it. And each officially licensed laser cut wooden replica features up to 4 layers of detail, creating a bird's eye view of a specific football field, seating section, and more. And every label includes your stadium's name, the team's logo, and school location. And it has a coconut, soy, vegan wax infused with sandalwood smell that creates tailgates and touchdown scent profile, reminiscent of game day. It's invigorating like fresh cut grass and nostalgic like smoke from a pre-game grill, and calming like the crisp autumn air of a new semester on campus. Y'all, I love it. I have it at the base of my TV, and I'm ready to watch the Tigers play on Saturday night, right? Uncommon Goods. Look, when you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses. And many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches. So shop now before they sell out this holiday season. Uncommon Goods looks for products that are high quality, unique, and often handmade or made in the U.S. They have the most meaningful, out of the ordinary gifts anywhere. They even have gifts you can personalize. From holiday hosts and hostess gifts to the coolest finds for kids, to hits for everyone from the book lovers to diehard sports fans. Uncommon Goods has something for everyone, not the same old selections you can just find anywhere. And with every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $3 million to date. So to get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/RLRC. That's uncommongoods.com/RLRC for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary.
Hey, y'all, let me tell you about Gobble. All Gobble meal kits are pre-prepped. That means less work for you and less waste in your kitchen. Their meal kits include everything you need so you can save time at the store or just skip that trip entirely. I got the box in and I had 3 different meals. I had a Kung Pao chicken, crispy fish tacos, and a beef bourguignon, however you say it. But let me tell you about the classic beef bourguignon. Look, it came
with beef pot roast and a beef broth concentrate, red wine demi-glace, cremini mushrooms, cipollone onions, mashed potatoes, baby carrots, and rosemary thyme butter. It was so easy to make. Literally like 15 minutes it took Cindy. And let me tell you something. And all the dishes were fire, but this thing was like a taste explosion in my mouth. It's just unreal. We've got to spend more time together and more time doing the things we love because everything came in this one single box right to my door. So see what a difference God will make for your household. Right now, they're offering my listeners a fantastic limited time deal. You get $120 off across 4 boxes, plus free shipping and free cookies. And let me tell you, those cookies, I ate one that was sin baked and it was delicious. Go to gobble.com/real life. That's GOBBLE.com/real life for $120 off your first 4 boxes. This offer is not available on the home site, so don't miss out. This is genius. It's taste explosions in your mouth like you never had.
Okay, well, here's a story that everybody's going to remember. Parents of mentally challenged woman who died from neglect on a maggot-infested couch in their Louisiana home. They each received 20 years in prison for manslaughter. Clay and Sheila Fletcher both sobbed over the death of their daughter, Lacey Ellen Fletcher, who was just 36, when they appeared Wednesday before the district judge, Kathy Jones. They admitted they could have done more to help their child. You think? Of all the things I can say about this case, the one thing that keeps coming to mind is that Clay and Sheila Fletcher continually chose the path of least resistance when it came to the care of their daughter, the judge said. Authorities noted Lacey was diagnosed with social anxiety and autism. According to testimony on Wednesday, she also grappled with a severe case of agoraphobia, fearing and avoiding places or situations that might cause panic and feelings of being trapped, hopeless, or embarrassed. Her irrational fears intensified over the years to the point that she stopped brushing her hair, brushing her teeth. She wouldn't go to the doctor. She refused to venture off of her family's couch over the final months of her life. Prosecutors described the Fletchers as their daughter's caretakers and said she was in their custody during the years-long span that she anchored herself to their living room couch. The Fletchers pleaded no contest to manslaughter on February 5th, and Jones imposed a 40-year sentence on both of them, but suspended 20 years on each of their sentences. He ruled that it was blatantly evident Lacey suffered from a severe case of mental illness and was not equipped to refuse medical attention, as her parents testified. Jones said she couldn't excuse them for not getting their daughter the help that she desperately needed. Lacey was found dead, sunken into a waste-filled hole in the couch back on January 3rd, 2022. When she died, she weighed just 96 pounds.
So y'all have heard us talk about this on prior episodes. That's where I'm from, and I know these people, and that's the reason we have the coroner system. Recently, I had to call the coroner on one of my own family members to have them committed under an OPC, or when you refuse them medical care or what have you, and they come in and they make the judgment that you're not able to do so, then they can basically lock you up for 72 hours for evaluation. My family member ended up staying for 8 days. I think I'm very thankful for the coroner for doing that. But I also know that the coroner in this case said, his last name's Bickham, and I saw my people I grew up with. He says it's the most horrible case he's ever seen. And Judge Betsy Jones is my parents' personal attorney, and the other judge is my aunt that serves East West Louisiana Parish. But the fact that they were leaving on vacations and stuff and leaving her riding on the couch, and they should have done, and they put on this pious. I probably shouldn't say too much because you said they took a plea. Well, if you took a plea, they took a plea, then I can talk about it. There's no appeals. So they're full of shit. They put on this public persona. Everybody thought they were great, but nobody had seen Lacey in a year or two. And the coroner said it's absolutely the worst scene he's ever seen. And believe me, they see it all.
Yeah. And with that sentence, a lot of, the first question a lot of people had was they suspended a lot of that sentence. The couple that's been charged with this, they're
The parents.
very
they're really
old.
old. They're not going to live that long.
Yeah, so it's a lot. Even with the suspended aspect of the sentence, it's
Still
a lot
20
of
years
sentence.
each.
Yeah.
Yeah. How old would you say they were?
I didn't.
Yeah, I think they're close to my age. But
Oh no, they much older than that.
really,
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was mid 30s.
I knew that.
So
If I'd have started a little younger,
Yeah, I want to
think
say
they
they
were
were
in
in
their
their
six-
mid
60s.
to late 60s.
yeah, I don't have it. But that stands to reason.
Yeah. Just one of the most disgusting cases probably we've reported on is that
Yeah.
case right
And people
there.
who carried on publicly and had a reasonably good reputation in the community.
Yeah.
yes, they did. And I mean, I don't know. I don't get it.
Well, we're gonna keep it in Louisiana, and we made mention of this on our last episode of Real Life Real Crime Daily from yesterday about a bar fight that took place in which an individual was injured that later
So many of those.
passed away. We're going to tell you that story. It was a Louisiana father of two who died after being involved in that bar fight while he was in Baton Rouge for a bachelor party. The fight happened just before 1:30 a.m. on Saturday at Fred's Bar, which is a very popular bar in Baton Rouge. We've all been
call it
to.
the Triangle 3, but actually Reggie's where Madison Books is right across the street.
Yeah.
We used to go to Fred's on Thursday for Beat the Clock
Yeah.
and all that.
Well, the fight happened just before 1:30, and following the fight, Devin Michael Rapath was taken to the hospital in critical condition. This from his father, J.P. Rapath. Rapath was a father of two boys. His absence obviously left his family, missing a lot, and they do have a GoFundMe page set up if you're interested in that. But authorities are reviewing the camera footage inside the bar to identify everyone involved in the fight. This was a big group fight going on during what they call Battle of the Bands. Actually, his father was one of the father of the deceased was one of the people that got punched, and he actually got knocked out.
Yeah.
One punch.
Yeah.
And when he wakes up, his son's getting loaded into an ambulance.
Right.
Can you imagine that? They had gone to an LSU baseball game earlier that day, and this was just a continuation of that bachelor party. So they had people, his father was an older gentleman. They had him there all the way down to, 21-year-old kids.
Right.
And this big fight brawl just breaks out, resulting in this young man's death. Hiller Moore said there's a lot of unknowns. We'll have to wait and see what the facts are. And no arrests have been made. Of course, the investigation is still in its early stages. But they are investigating.
Usually when it occurs, it's somebody hits somebody and their head hits the ground and cracks their skull and they bleed out. I've worked several of those. Actually, one kid got knocked out like that and went and sat in his truck and fell asleep and never woke up. Sad that it happens. I hate it. It's just stupid, senseless. And I looked up Lacey Fletcher's parents, and they're 64 years old.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know.
I saw the greatest bar fight in history this weekend. It's the remake of Roadhouse.
I watched it.
that.
I watched it. It was pretty good. I thought.
Well, no, it's pretty
Jake
bad.
Gyllenhaal is pretty ripped
Right.
out.
He
huh?
got all ripped up, but Conor McGregor
Oh, my God.
steals,
that was pretty
steals
funny.
the show as some just completely roided out nut who just tears the. I mean,
He was blown up like a balloon.
the damage that place took on a nightly basis. There's no way you could ever operate a venue.
I'll never
like that,
forget the original Roadhouse scene when
Patrick Swayze, wasn't it? Who was the bad guy?
It was Patrick Swayze was Dalton, and he ripped that guy's throat out.
Yeah.
And then he say, "My parents went to New Orleans for the weekend, and all I got was this lousy windpipe." When they ripped it out.
Yeah, but
All right.
I mean, God bless the dearly departed Patrick Swayze, but these guys, I mean, Gyllenhaal is all cut up in this thing, even though he's a little guy. But Conor McGregor,
They didn't bring the one thing they didn't do is bring in old Sam Elliott to help him out.
That's who it was, Sam Elliott.
Person. But moving on.
Tracy, is the erection a normal side effect to this thing?
Oh my God.
I'm just asking that because that's a benefit.
That's just because Woody looks so sexy.
That's right.
Because I'm happy to see Woody this morning.
I don't want to get raped.
I'm actually kidding. Is it done?
It's done.
Wow. Well, we're gonna.
you
Yeah, I
drank
see
that
the bag's
thing, man.
empty.
We're
Yeah.
gonna. Well, my body needed it. We're gonna talk about a crazy woman and her crazy mom, and then we're gonna come back and talk a little bit about this. You guys remember Corey Richens? I know the name sounds familiar.
Yes.
What's the story?
Her husband died, and then she wrote a book about.
Oh, yeah.
It's coming back to you. Well, listen to this, because investigators believe that Corey's mom might
read this.
be involved in what happened here. So, Corey Richens, the children's book author who famously wrote a book on grief about the sudden death of her husband, and then was accused of poisoning him. She may not be the first woman in her family to kill off a romantic partner. In an affidavit for a search warrant, the Summit County Sheriff's Office in Utah alleges a possible connection between the 2006 overdose death of Corey's mother's former partner and that of Corey's husband in 2022. Whether crime or coincidence, Detective Jeff O'Driscoll suggests the earlier death could have provided Corey with a roadmap for murder. Regarding Richens' mother, whose name is Lisa Darden, Detective O'Driscoll claims, quote, "It is possible she was involved in planning and orchestrating her son-in-law's death." Around 9 p.m. on March 3rd of 22, Corey and Eric were celebrating Corey's real estate business deal alongside Corey's mother. That's the Lisa Darden. And O'Driscoll reported that celebration included some drinking. On May 8th of 2023, the Utah soccer mom, whose book about her husband's death had recently been published, was arrested and accused of killing him. Prosecutors allege that Corey was about $2 million in debt, and what do you know? Her husband's insurance policy had a death benefit of $2 million. Yeah. They believe Corey laced Eric's celebratory cocktail with 5 times the amount of lethal fentanyl. In the affidavit, O'Driscoll claims that Corey's mother's history with the death of a romantic partner invites the possibility that she may have been involved with Eric's death. In our investigating Corey Richens, it was discovered that in 2006, Lisa Darden, her mother, was living with an adult female with whom she was having a romantic relationship. That woman, who is not named in the affidavit, also died unexpectedly. The woman's autopsy revealed, quote, a drug poisoning from an overdose of oxycodone. According to O'Driscoll, who said further investigation showed that Lisa Darden had been named as the beneficiary of her partner's estate a short time before her death. The woman had a current prescription for oxy, according to O'Driscoll. Corey's lawyer, Sky Lazaro, called the latest accusations a baseless conspiracy theory. The fact that Mrs. Darden's significant other was one of the millions that suffer from and ultimately succumb to opioid addiction is hardly suspicious, Lazaro said. It's tragic and unfortunate, but quite common. He similarly dismissed the speculation surrounding the partner's insurance policy, the fact that Ms. Darden was the beneficiary of her romantic partner's life insurance policy is also not unique. It only demonstrates that her circumstances are no different than most families in America. I don't know about that one. To suggest otherwise is nothing more than a baseless conspiracy theory. So, boys, conspiracy theory, or is there something going on here?
It's a hard one.
Both. I think it's conspiracy theory and something's going on. But this is where we use Roy's machine, the only one in the state of Louisiana, from Parish Forensics, where they get qualitative and quantitative amount of narcotics in 30 minutes. So,
and that thing was a badass looking machine. We didn't get a picture of it, did we?
Get a picture.
Oh, did you?
I think I sent it to everybody, but but I wish I'd have had that back in my day, and I bet y'all wish you might have it in the intensive care natal units, right? And get the instant toxicology report back. Holy smokes. Qualitative and quantitative. So if they overfed him or they fed him the hydrocodone laced with fentanyl, which wouldn't be uncommon, they would know.
Yeah. That case right there has really became popular, like in the TikTok world. A lot of people are doing their own investigative sleuthing, as they call it, TikTok world. But I don't. I think some of that might be be a little conspiring.
Yeah. Mom killed one off, got the death benefit. It was an OD.
Well, but most people that if you're married, you have a life insurance policy. Most people are going to collect a death benefit if their husband dies. Doesn't mean they killed them.
Sure. Yeah. But it becomes more suspicious when it's from an overdose.
That's a good point.
And I think they were romantic partners. I don't think they were married. In fact, they weren't. They were.
I'm not killing anybody for $2 million. $2 million just doesn't go as far as it used to.
What about 3?
Well, it depends on who it is. Doesn't it depend on who it is?
For $3 million, no.
Well,
I want you to give me a quarter's worth. I'll take it out of Mike.
All right, maybe. So listen, I feel definitely different than I did
your bags
when I walked in. Of course, Jim made me get up at 4:00 this morning, so I'll do that. But and the erection side effect aside, this is awesome.
The erection side effect.
You want to know? Unpluck me here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You're going to get a wax.
Go ahead.
I'm going to get what?
A wax.
A wax?
Wax. I mean, it's going to rip the hair off your arms.
Yeah.
It's all
wax your arms. You want me to?
Hey, you are so good.
She put that needle in, and he never even knew it.
No, I did. I never even felt it.
She was great at that. But like she said, she had a lot of practice doing it on babies. Yeah. And if you can find a baby's vein.
That's right.
And I don't really feel this. As she's
Look, I had a procedure one time, and they could not find my vein.
Scotch tape
when I was with
that hurts so bad.
I was all up and down my arms and legs and everything.
Yeah.
And we didn't need to use duct tape, Trace. You'll use a softer version of the tape.
She's pulling out his line.
She's taking her time, being very gentle, very professional.
Yeah, very gentle. He's like, bah.
Yeah.
Nice sweat. You are good.
She is good.
That's the other thing is if you're going to do this and you have
that was quick.
Knows what
Mike's ready to run a marathon.
Right? He probably will.
We actually do have
that's 2.7 miles.
That's going to be coming out, some Marlin that's for athletes to help with recovery, muscle repair.
Hey, I want all that stuff that's performance enhancing drugs that the NFL can't use. I want a cocktail. I want a cocktail because it's legal, and I need to get back in the gym.
Yeah. There you go.
And I'm 54. I need a little juice there, Tracy.
So, Tracy, let's give your digits again. It's Lagniappe Wellness. Lagniappe Infusions. Your number is
509-308-1212.
Awesome, and we're going to put your QR code in the show notes and
code RLRC and $10 per transfusion that y'all do for LOPA, Louisiana Organ Procurement Agency. And Tracy, you're a rock star.
Yeah. And I'll post something later on today and tell you how.
We wish you, how about this? Not only do we wish you success, we want to know about the success. We'll have you back on and you can tell us about people that you've helped and the different things. That's the other thing, y'all. It's not just what Mike got today. Like she said, it's the weight loss. With semaglutide. It's a bunch of different products. And Tracy can advise you on. You tell her what's wrong, she has a fix.
Very good.
That.
Very good. That's right.
Thank you so much, Tracy.
Awesome.
All right, so we're going to South Carolina.
South Carolina. I would not hurt Pawpaw or Maggie.
that is South Carolina. Very good. Well, they've got a 50-year-old man who is following in the same footsteps. He is accused of killing his estranged wife and her friend during an argument, and then took his own life over the weekend. So officers with the Malden Police Department responded to an apartment complex on the evening of March 23rd in reference to shots fired, where they found 52-year-old Kim Thrift and 41-year-old Marilyn Minor deceased. Police identified Christopher Minor as the primary suspect and obtained warrants for his arrest on 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of unlawful possession of a firearm. Investigators believe the shooting to be domestic in nature. Now, on March 23rd, around 6 p.m., Marilyn Minor and Thrift went to the apartment complex to pick up Marilyn Minor's children. While there, they reportedly got into a dispute with Christopher Minor, Marilyn Minor's estranged husband, and Christopher Minor shot the two women during the altercation. Malden Police Chief George Miller said that other people, including minors, were present during the shooting, but it's unclear if the suspect's kids were there. Christopher Minor was last seen driving a white Cadillac on Sunday, and park rangers reportedly found the suspect's vehicle abandoned at Baker Creek State Park in McCormick County, South Carolina. Upon further search of the area, they did locate Christopher Minor dead by a lake with a suspected self-inflicted gunshot wound. So in a statement, police said it was a heartbreaking tragedy and their thoughts and prayers are with the family members. But, you know, you took yourself out and you had to take two other people out before you did it. I'll never understand why people do that.
It's too many times, man. Too many times.
I don't get it.
I don't either.
I wish all nurses were like Tracy Lofton.
She's cool, right? And she was very, very good.
Smart woman, sweet woman, somebody who's hustling in middle age to do something entrepreneurial.
She's a very successful traveling. I see.
I find a lot of nurses to be very good.
Yeah, I think that's
true.
true.
Yeah, they got a good work ethic and everything. But I mean, good bedside manner. Explain the product.
It's a calling.
Yeah, it definitely is a calling.
Yeah, go check her out on Facebook, and if you're disposed to, give it a shot. I do feel different. I do feel more energetic.
$10.
Jim, you got a free syringe with that? Look
it's
at
a
that.
Jello shot.
Free Jello shot. You'll be using that later.
Hey, ladies, are you feeling overwhelmed by hormonal changes? Well, you're definitely not alone. There are more than 1,000 hormone disruptors living in our environment right now. It's in your food, your water, the air you breathe, the clothes you wear, your skincare products. They all mess with your hormones. Then there's the natural hormone changes your body goes through, premenopause, menopause. And while it's a natural process, it doesn't mean you have to suffer through it. The good news is you don't have to suffer through it anymore because now you have Hormone Harmony, a formula made only with herbal ingredients that are shown to reduce hormonal symptoms in women of all ages. Hormone Harmony is not just a hormone support and supplement, it's become a phenomenon. Women can't stop talking about it on social media. A bottle of Hormone Harmony is sold every 24 seconds. And the biggest benefit? Well, my wife says it makes her feel like her own self again. And that's what women mention over and over in the reviews. And there are over 30,000 reviews for Hormone Harmony. And for a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use code RLRC at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC for 15% off today. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC.
Well, I think the other day, Jimmy said a lot of these stories that we've worked on for some period of time are coming around and working their way through the courts. And we have another one of those as we're going to revisit the Carly Russell case.
Oh, our friend Carly Russell.
One of Woody's favorites.
Alabama.
Yes, sirree. Carly Russell, the Alabama woman who faked her own abduction last July. So it was...
God, don't seem like that long ago.
She's been spared jail time and sentenced to probation after pleading guilty. Back in October, a Hoover, Alabama judge found Russell guilty of false reporting to law enforcement and falsely reporting an incident, both misdemeanors associated with her high-profile fabricated kidnapping. He recommended a year in jail, a restitution payment of $17,000, almost $18,000, and 2 additional fines that were together about $1,600. It appeared that Russell was moving forward with an appeal of her verdict. She was set to start trial right this week, I think, when she showed up at the courthouse and instead entered a plea of guilty on both counts. Quote, I made a grave mistake while trying to fight through various emotional issues and stress, Russell said. I absolutely regret my decision and in hindsight wish I had cried for help in a totally different manner. This is all what she's saying to the judge in open court. My prayer is that I will be extended grace and be given the opportunity to redeem who I truly am and restore the positively esteemed character that I have worked so hard to obtain for the 25 years of my life prior to this incident. Ultimately, she was sentenced to 6 months in county jail, time which the judge suspended, saying her incarceration would be a waste of government resources and that she is not a threat to the community. She will be under supervised probation for 12 months. State prosecutor Clark Morris, who had argued that Russell should spend time behind bars, told the judge that the case boiled down to, quote, respect for law enforcement and respect for this community as a whole. Miss Russell faked a kidnapping, duped the community, and contrived this situation, he said. We, judge, still don't know to this day where she was, how she got there, and what she was doing, and with whom she was doing it with. Chief Counsel Catherine Robertson said the sentencing wasn't unexpected. We're disappointed but not surprised that Mrs. Russell did not get the requested jail time for her crimes. Current law provides a weak penalty for false reporting and fails to account for situations like Ms. Russell's that result in the significant law enforcement response. Fortunately, the governor will soon receive legislation to increase penalties for false reporting when an imminent threat is alleged and will expand the amount of restitution that can be sought. That's probably a positive change in the law because we've seen a number of these things. So the next time law enforcement resources are needlessly wasted in this manner, the offender will be forever labeled a felon. Making a false report could soon become a felony in Alabama per this newly proposed bill requiring hoaxers to reimburse law enforcement. So I'm not going to go through. You guys all know the story with the case.
I think she's got way too much publicity for this. I agree with them changing the law and making it a felony. That would deter some people and also making them do restitution for everything. But she's probably TikTok famous and everything else now. And
you have to look on her socials. I don't know if she's been.
She is now in the category with Maggie and Pawpaw.
Well, it was just announced by NBC that Carly will be joining Jussie Smollett on the cast of a new reality TV series called Bullshit Stories. The series, called BS for short, will give contestants 3 details that they then must form a bullshit story around in 30 seconds or less.
Is that for real?
Is that for real? Oh, God. All right, that's
actually,
it.
Look, I wouldn't put it back.
Actually, I'm going to float that idea by a buddy of mine that does reality shows, and I bet he'll go, hey, you know what? That might work.
She is dead to me.
There's no doubt.
But just to test the game show theory, Jim, if I gave you blow up doll fishing trip injury, and you had 30 seconds to come up with the story.
Fishing trip.
Okay, that's an abbreviated story. Blow up doll fishing trip injury. Woody could come up with that. Anyway.
All right.
She's getting a slap on the wrist, but at least it's woken up lawmakers in Alabama, and I would imagine a few other places to put some boundaries around this crap.
I agree.
Well, we brought you a story earlier about the couch case, and we have another just kind of like horrible story. Not as horrible, but still pretty bad. This one out of Florida. And a mother's charged after her son goes missing from a home in a deplorable state with flies and cockroaches. A mother and her teen housemate faced charges after the woman's child went missing and deputies found multiple malnourished dogs in their home. On March 19th, deputies responded to a home after a mother, 31-year-old Tanya Rodriguez, reported her son missing, but was unable to provide a precise timeline. Detectives found the child at his school the next day. During an interview, the boy told officials he had been away from his home for 3 days. Further investigation into the missing juvenile revealed alarming conditions at the child's home, including no electricity or running water. Authorities said the home was in a deplorable state and had been infested with cockroaches and flies. The floors were reportedly contaminated with fecal matter. The sheriff's office said they learned the 4 children lived in the home under Rodriguez's care and removed the juveniles, placed them with family members. And on March 20th, they did arrest Rodriguez on 4 counts of child neglect.
There you have it.
Just
Another idiot.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what's going on with these cases of just sheer abuse
It's like,
and related to neglect
I don't
specifically.
I don't want to live
It's
in
not
China,
hitting.
China and shit, but I always say you have to have a license to drive a car, but you don't have to have a license and any type of training or whatever to have a kid. And then these situations end up,
Yeah.
Banjo
time.
Wow, don't I feel special? 2 days in a row.
2 days in a row.
I'll probably get benched for the next
Row down.
2 months on Dumb Criminals. I suppose.
We keep a tally of that.
You got to say, I'm going to say this real quick. We've had a hell of a month. March is the busiest month I've had in a long, long time.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's always running and gunning and doing things, but it seems this might be the last day of the busy shit.
Yeah.
Guess
think?
what? What do you have to do that mark on Good Friday?
You don't?
Nope. It's one day of the year I don't do anything except fish.
Well, that's good.
You do Easter Bunny stuff, though, don't you?
No.
Do you refrain from killing a bunny on that day?
Probably so because it's getting a little warm. They get worms.
Okay, good. So no bunnies will die at your hand during
I mean, I'm not cooking something.
Easter Sunday. Okay, well,
I'm cooking a whole ribeye.
I have a little bit of sympathy for today's dummy, but here's what he did. He's an Ohio father, and he got arrested after he called his son's school and the local police many, many times to complain about the amount of homework his son was receiving.
Oh, okay. Well, that's always going to go over well with a teacher who did their prep.
So Adam Sizemore is this guy's name. He allegedly placed the calls to the Oxford School. This is in Ohio, as I said. He first called the school and demanded to speak with the principal, who was unavailable at the time. He then spoke with several staff members, allegedly becoming disruptive to school staff and becoming rude and using foul language.
How dare he?
He actually said something about, quote, an ass chewing and asked the principal to come to his, quote, effing house since the guy wouldn't take his calls. I mean, that's, I don't know how far up the scale of, using foul language that is, but he allegedly continued his tirade into the next day when he kept calling and cursing at staff and at the principal. He then began calling the Oxford Police Department. He did so 18 times in less than an hour.
That's not good.
He was later arrested and booked into the Butler County Jail and charged with 2 counts of telecommunications harassment and 1 count of menacing. Sizemore has since been released and is scheduled for a court appearance at the end of the month when we will hear his plea. If convicted, he faces up to 6 months in jail and a $1,000 fine for each count of harassment and up to 30 days in jail for the menacing charges, according to police. Okay, so here's a father who's upset that he doesn't get enough time to spend with his son because of what he believes is an inordinate amount of homework the kid is receiving. Now, granted, he should have been more patient in his dealings with the school, and perhaps he should have asked for an appointment and a discussion on the topic. And yes, he appears to be a few fries short of a Happy Meal in the video when officers go to see him. But my man, Adam Sizemore, just wanted to spend some more time with his son. Got to feel a little bit.
Yes. Dumb.
Criminal.
They're lenient on him and get him a new banjo.
Trying to be a good daddy.
Sorry, Adam.
Taking care of his son.
All right. Well, another dumb criminal
Yeah.
off the street.
A good look, a fine-looking dumb criminal.
A fine looking dumb
He looks
criminal.
like, which one was it? It was Laurel of Laurel and Hardy. He looks like Laurel.
Yeah, he
right?
does.
man.
Wait, who is the skinny one? Who is the chunk? Laurel was the
He
chunky
looks
one.
like the chunky one.
Or he looks like Costello from Abbott and Costello. One of them.
Yeah, it's kind of looks like
The if I was a son, I'd want him to get Father of the Year because he was calling a bitch because I was getting too much homework.
That's it.
I never brought anything home.
Yeah, no, that kid's cool at school now. I mean, your dad was the dad that got arrested for fighting
telling the teacher off. All right,
kid probably got hooked up as a result of that.
I want to talk about Tracy again with Lagniappe Infusion. Y'all, look, $10 of each treatment. She comes to you, goes to LOPA. Use code RRC for your other discount. And we're going to share it everywhere. How you feeling, Michael?
Woody's going to send the video. I'm currently doing curls with 100-pound dumbbells. And I've done 36 of them already. And I don't know, when I walked in, maybe I could have done 15 curls with 100-pound dumbbells. But it makes a major difference.
I took the video on your phone. You might cut some parts out.
I feel, you know what it feels like? It feels like
we can upload that whole thing to Facebook.
It's like 6 minutes.
When Popeye would get the spinach. Yeah. So right after Popeye gets the spinach.
Down Popeye.
And, you see it like explode through his arms and his forehead. Yeah, I got a little Popeye going. So I hope olive oil is ready when I get home.
Oh, we better watch out, my share.
And Woody, that's 6 minutes of Mike, not 6 minutes of me or you.
That's right. 6 minutes of Mike. And,
so that's not even near
Miss Tracy with the Real Life Real Crime Aglet shirt on.
Yeah.
She's a great woman.
She's nice.
That's the Aglet. We finally met her.
Right.
Yeah, she asked me why she had to use the S. I said, no, there's 3 of you.
But anyway, I love and appreciate each and every one of y'all. Of course, you'll get an episode tomorrow, but it's Good Friday. And just thank y'all for liking and listening and sharing. And look, if you want to be like Parish Forensics and Louisiana Pet Crematory and Miss Tracy with Lagniappe Infusion, and you want us to try your product, back you, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, you know what? We could send
a lot more
Tracy to Roy and see if she can bring someone back.
Oh, Lord.
You don't think that'll work?
But we did.
Definitely need more than a liter.
Jim unfortunately did have to go to Roy and Kristen for his family pet. So
yes,
we know they're legit.
That's right.
And crazy, great tour and shows that we did from over there. But anyway, love y'all and get ready for your Easter weekend.
All right. Any final thoughts, Mike?
All good. Everybody have a great holiday.
Have a great Good Friday. And I'm Jim Chapman.
And I'm Woody Everton.
And I'm Mike Agavino.
For Real Life, Real Crime Daily. Peace.
Hey, Glad.